In the summer of 2024, the internet did what it does best. It minted a new superstar overnight. With a thick southern accent and a catchphrase that was impossible to forget, a young woman from small-town Tennessee became a global sensation. Her name was Haliey Welch, but the world would soon know her as the Hawk Tuah Girl.
It's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing, you get me?
Her face was everywhere, her voice was remixed into songs, and her name was on the lips of millions. It looked like a modern fairy tale, proof of the wild, lightning in a bottle power of one viral moment. But this isn't a fairy tale. In just a few short months, the laughter quieted down. The Hawk Tuah Girl, the internet's goofy, unfiltered sweetheart, suddenly found herself at the center of a financial disaster that vaporized millions of dollars and ignited a firestorm of public outrage.
Like everyone in the world should have seen this coming, but somehow still they were able to make tens of thousands of dollars.
I'm not fazed by it. He just kept on posting them and posting them. So I was like, whatever. And so I got an attorney, after that. Because I was like, everybody else is making money off of it with merchandise, and he's making money off the videos. I was like, that's not fair. It's me. Why am I not making any money? So I went and I got all my act together, and here I am.
This is the story of how one of the most explosive rises to fame in internet history led to a crash that was just as spectacular. It's about more than a meme.
True fans and all the people that actually watch my stuff and they keep up with me. We're trying to sort out all the pieces and stuff to get all this figured out and make everything right. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry.
No, don't cry. Don't cry. Don't cry. Everything's gonna be good.
The seductive danger of easy money and the brutal truth of what happens when viral fame becomes public ruin. This is the real story behind the controversy that almost destroyed Haliey Welch's career before it even got started. It all kicked off in June 2024 on the neon-lit streets of Nashville, Tennessee. Haliey Welch, a woman in her early 20s from the tiny town of Belfast, was out with a friend when they got stopped by a street interview channel, Tim and D Television.
How do you get over a breakup?
Get drunk, like we're doing right now.
Y'all get over a breakup right now?
The only way to get over one is get under another. Amen.
Darius Marlowe asked, "What's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time?" Without skipping a beat, Haliey leaned into the camera and fired off the line that would be heard around the world.
It's one move in bed that makes a man go crazy every time.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing, you get me?
That phrase, an onomatopoeia for the sound of spitting mixed with her bold delivery and unmistakable southern drawl, was pure internet gold. Marlowe posted the clip to TikTok and it just detonated. Within days, it had millions of views. The audio was ripped and used in hundreds of thousands of other videos. Remixes, parodies, and endless think pieces followed. Haliey Welch wasn't just a woman from Tennessee anymore. She was the Hawk Tuah Girl, a full-blown cultural moment. Before all this, Welch was living a quiet life, working a job at a spring factory with no real social media footprint. Suddenly, she was one of the most famous people on the planet. At first, the reaction was amazing. People loved how raw, hilarious, and authentic the clip felt. She was an instant folk hero. She quit her factory job and leaned right into the fame. Merchandise, especially hats with her catchphrase, started selling like crazy. She was making high-profile appearances, joining country star Zach Bryan on stage, and even DJing alongside Shaq. The momentum felt unstoppable. On the 3rd of September 2024, she launched a podcast with Better, a media company co-founded by Jake Paul. Her show, Hawk Tuah, was an instant smash, climbing the Spotify charts and sitting right alongside giants like the Joe Rogan Experience. She was landing huge guests like comedian Whitney Cummings, rapper Wiz Khalifa, and mogul Mark Cuban. The world was hers. It seemed like she had turned 15 minutes of fame into a real media empire. But just as she was hitting the highest of highs, a decision was made that would send everything tumbling down. The Hawk Tuah brand was about to step into the wild world of cryptocurrency, and the result was going to be a catastrophe.
This is one of the most miserable, horrible launches I've ever seen in my life.
Okay, then why the fuck are you on?
Profiting from the rug pull, I think it's relevant.
We didn't pull a rug. I don't know what you're trying to say. It's not true. That's defamation.
Doc, do the math. Do the math.
Defamation. You're saying that we pulled a rug. There was no rug pull.
3%.
You're defaming our character.
Are you not gonna?
As 2024 was winding down, Haliey Welch's career took a sharp and disastrous turn. On the 4th of December, she announced the launch of her own meme coin on the Solana blockchain called $Hawk. On the surface, it was pitched as a fun way for her to connect with her massive fan base. Welch even admitted she used to think crypto was a scam, but was sold on the idea that it could be a fun way to get my fans to interact. For a few brief shining moments, the launch was a massive success. Fueled by the hype around her name, the value of Hawk exploded. Reports at the time claimed its market cap surged to hundreds of millions of dollars almost instantly. But that peak didn't last. Just as fast as it shot up, the coin's value came crashing down. In a shockingly short time, the price plummeted by over 90%, wiping out nearly all of its value. Thousands of people, many of them her own fans and first-time crypto investors, lost their money. What was supposed to be a fun ride turned into a financial nightmare. The backlash was immediate and vicious. The same social media platforms that built her up were now tearing her down. She was flooded with accusations of running a pump and dump scheme and orchestrating a rug pull, where developers hype up a project, get people to invest, and then disappear with the money. The internet's armchair detectives went to work. Crypto analysts and YouTubers like CoffeeZilla started picking the launch apart, pointing out seriously suspicious activity. Blockchain data seemed to show that a huge chunk of the coin supply was held by a small number of insider wallets. One analysis even suggested a single wallet got 17.5% of the total Hawk supply and sold it off within 90 minutes for a profit of over $1.3 million. Allegations swirled that insiders controlled as much as 96% or 97% of the supply and cashed out at the top, leaving regular folks holding worthless digital tokens. Facing this firestorm, Welch and her team denied everything. In a public chat on X, they claimed they hadn't sold any of their tokens and blamed the crash on outside traders and bots that were manipulating the market. But for many, the damage was done. The narrative had flipped. The quirky viral star was now the face of a crypto scam. The fallout was fast and severe. Investors filed complaints with the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission, the SEC. The whole mess attracted regulatory scrutiny, with reports that the SEC and even the FBI were looking into potential securities violations. While Haliey Welch herself wasn't named as a defendant in the main lawsuit filed by investors, her name and face were stuck to the disaster. She went from being the internet's favorite meme to its newest villain. The fall from grace was just as stunning and rapid as her rise. In the immediate wake of the Hawk coin collapse, Haliey Welch just vanished. After being one of the most visible people online, she suddenly went silent. Her Hawk Tuah podcast stopped, with the last episode ironically titled "How to Avoid Getting Cancelled." For weeks, then months, she was gone from the public eye, sparking all kinds of rumors about where she was or if she was in legal trouble. This silence was a calculated retreat. Behind the scenes, Welch was cooperating with authorities. She later said in an interview that trusting the project promoters was her biggest mistake, claiming she was told it would be a long-term venture with half the proceeds going to charity. For months, the cloud of a federal investigation hung over her. Then, in the spring of 2025, a turning point. On the 27th of March, Welch and her lawyer announced that the investigations by the FBI and SEC had concluded without finding any evidence of misconduct on her part. Her attorney James Sala told the media the SEC closed the investigation without making any findings against or seeking any monetary sanctions from Haliey. This cleared her name legally, but the court of public opinion was another story. With that legal threat seemingly gone, Welch began the tough process of rebuilding. The story wasn't just about ruin anymore, it was about a comeback attempt. She parted ways with Jake Paul's Better Media company in what they both called a mutual decision and relaunched her Hawk Tuah podcast on her own in April 2025. In a May episode, she finally broke her silence on the crypto mess, telling her side of the story and insisting she did not make a dime from the coin. But the road back hasn't been smooth. A live podcast taping at VidCon in June 2025 got a mixed reaction, with reports of heckling and walkouts. When asked about the controversy, she tried to deflect with a joke, saying, "Does this look like the face of a girl who could talk to you about crypto?" That response really highlights the tightrope she has to walk now. Despite the hurdles, the Hawk Tuah girl is far from ruined. She's actively trying to rebrand, moving past the meme coin disaster to build a more lasting career. A big part of that push is a documentary about her life, in production with the Emmy-winning company Bungalow Media Plus Entertainment. The film promises to tell the bizarre truth behind her wild rise, the intense scrutiny she faced, and the crypto controversy. As of August 2025, 2025, Haliey Welch's story is still a work in progress. She isn't the universally loved meme she was back in the summer of 2024, but she's not a total outcast either. She's a public figure trying to navigate the messy aftermath of a very modern scandal. She's involved in animal advocacy, her podcast is running, and a documentary is on the way. Her journey is a powerful, real-time case study of how social media can both crown and crucify its darlings. The story of the Hawk Tuah Girl is one of the wildest rides in internet history, full of incredible highs and devastating lows. But what do you think? Was Haliey Welch a victim who got played by crypto insiders exploiting her fame? Or does the face of a project have to take responsibility when it all goes wrong? Is a comeback even possible after a scandal this big? Let us know what you think in the comments below. We read every single one. And if you think these deep dives into internet culture are fascinating, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next investigation. Haliey Welch's saga is a story for our times. It shows how one unscripted moment can launch a regular person from total anonymity to global fame, practically overnight. Her initial rise was a feel-good story about authenticity winning out, but that narrative soured fast, turning into a warning about the dangers waiting where internet fame meets unregulated money. Her story makes you wonder about modern celebrity. What responsibility do influencers have to their followers, especially when they're promoting something high risk? And how can the internet, which is so quick to build someone up, turn on them with the same ferocity? While the title of this video talks about ruin, Haliey Welch's story isn't over. Her attempt to rebrand and rebuild shows a resilience that a lot of viral stars from the past never got a chance to show. Her journey is a living example of the complexity of fame, the sting of public failure, and the difficult search for a second act. Whether she'll ultimately be remembered as the hilarious Hawk Tuah Girl, the face of a crypto disaster, or a survivor who weathered the storm, that chapter is still being written. But one thing is for sure, her story will be a lesson about the volatile, unpredictable, and often brutal nature of life in the internet spotlight for years to come.